This episode is brought to you by the Toyota Grand Highlander. Life's journey brings constant change filled with exciting surprises and grand challenges. And with its spaciousness, power, and style, the Toyota Grand Highlander is more than a vehicle. It's your partner in embracing all life throws at you. From the spacious adult-sized third row to seating for up to 8 passengers, the Toyota Grand Highlander is up for every grand challenge. Learn more at toyota.com/Grand Highlander. Toyota, let's go places.
Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
Mr. Miyagi, it's over! It's over, forget about it!
No!
I'm afraid! Let's just get out of here! I want to go home!
Cannot, must not! It's okay, lose to opponent! Must not lose to fear!
Yo, I'm afraid! I'm afraid of him, alright? What do I do?
You stay focused. That is how your best karate still inside you. Now time, let out!
And hello, welcome to Unequal Sequel. My name is Dave, and I'm one of the 2 hosts of this Ace podcast.
And my name's Rich, and I'm the other host of this Ace podcast. Think of me as Johnny Lawrence to Dave's John Kreese, because I'm badass, and he's got no mercy in this podcast.
Ooh, I like that one. The premise of Unequal Sequel is very simple. We ask our guests their best ever sequel, worst ever sequel, and finally their dream sequel.
And, of course, we quite often drift off and talk about other things. Sometimes life in general, sometimes movies, sometimes even sequels.
And sometimes we do drop big fat spoilers to movies you might have not seen. So if you don't want them ruined, pause, flick forward, go check your security camera. Go check if that cat's still shitting in your garden when they shouldn't be. Is that just me? Fucking little thing. Because on today's episode, we are joined by Mark Simmons.
Mark is an incredible stand-up comedian, actor, podcaster. He is amazing. Go and find him on tour right now.
We're very excited to sit down with Mark and chat all things sequels with him.
These are Mark Simmons' Unequal Sequels. Enjoy!
First question, Mark, is what is the first sequel you remember seeing when you were young and getting excited about?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I know the actual first sequel I ever saw, but I wasn't excited about it because I hadn't seen the first one.
Right.
And it was technically the first thing I ever saw at the cinema, but I don't ever say it because it's a bit of a boring answer. So what I normally say is Edward Scissorhands because that is the first proper film I saw at cinema. But I actually saw, hang on, what's it called? It's a cartoon, An American Tale.
Oh, Five All Goes West.
That's wow. You boys know your films.
The big big
sequels,
crazy
man.
eyes.
Yeah. I haven't seen it since then, but that just reminded me. Yeah,
it's a great film. I mean, it's a very different film to the first film, which is like this sweet tale of a boy getting lost and find himself and his family and friends and learn. And the second one just goes like, we're just going to make it a Western. A little bit. And I don't know if it quite works, but I remember it being fun. Or actually, I remember it being fun when I was like 10. I don't know if it still holds up. Rich, have you showed that to your kid yet?
No, mate. No, I've not shown him either of those yet. Like, I'd probably like them, actually.
I mean, Five was cute and stuff.
Yeah, like the Jewish immigrant journey to America as a cartoon mouse. Yeah, grand.
I'm so impressed how much you know about that film. Like, I literally, like, I remember it as in seeing it because I remember it's where I grew up. I grew up in like a little village in Kent.
Lovely.
And in Ashford, which was like the closest town,
God,
that there was a cinema that got knocked down, and this is the only film I ever saw in that cinema. So that was the only time I went there. And then the other, I think I went to Folkestone to watch Edward Scissorhands, which would have been not long after, I think.
Well, how old were you there, do you reckon?
4, maybe. I can't. What year was that?
Oh, that's quite young for Edward Scissorhands, isn't it? 4.
Oh, sorry, Edward Scissorhands. Oh, Ed Scissorhands 5.
Even better.
Yeah, it was 1990, wasn't it?
Yes.
Edward Scissorhands. I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping I got that right. That'd be interesting. What do you know? What year the sequel for?
I think the sequel was later than that.
Five Will Goes West, American Tail was 1986. Oh no, no, that's the first one. Sorry,
that's not.
1991. Five Will Goes West.
90. Oh, so
you did see him. You did see Edward Scissorhands first. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think I'm so sorry. Let's start again.
It's fine.
Oh, wow. Isn't that funny how you remember that? I could have swore that was the film I saw in Ashford. Obviously wasn't.
Well, hasn't Ashford got a new cinema now?
I worked there. Yeah, the Ashford Cineworld.
Oh wow!
And that's I worked there when it opened. So when I was I think when I was at sixth form at school, it was literally the best job I've ever had.
I bet.
Proper job. Have you guys ever worked in a cinema?
No, we've got a really good friend who was a projectionist in the cinema before they went all digital. And he was like, I know the first 10 minutes of every movie.
Yeah.
He also called it the best job he's ever had.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Like the technically the worst job at the cinema was actually the best job. So the worst job was called floor. And your job would be either take the tickets or walking around, just wandering in the films, just checking everyone's behaving, and you could just stand in there for ages. It was just so amazing.
Yeah, I don't think they do that anymore, do they? I've never seen someone walk into the cinemas and check that everyone's behaving anymore. Because if it did,
no, but it's madness the difference in the cinema now. Because when on a Saturday we finished work at 3 a.m.
Wow,
and we'd be coming out at the same time as the nightclub, which was next door. And you'd be on concessions doing the popcorn, and it would be queues out the door, literally out the door, every Saturday, non-stop, just bang, bang, bang. And now there's no one in there.
No.
It's incredible the difference that's in that time.
That's because popcorn's now too expensive, Mark.
I was told on my first day that popcorn is more profitable than cocaine. Always remember that.
Brilliant.
I can just see people trying to rob it and stuff like holding you up just for the popcorn. That's
like when you work in a bar. Like when I worked in a bar, I remember my boss telling me that Coca-Cola was way more profitable than any beer, any alcoholic beverage we sold. Like Coca-Cola was the one because it cost like pennies and you'd charge loads for it.
Yeah, they buy the syrups.
Yeah.
But I used to love making the popcorn as well. There were two places we made popcorn. There was one which was the salt popcorn, which was behind the scenes, which was the best because you could just doss the whole time and eat as much of it as you wanted. And then there's another bit, which just seems so weird now, whereas you've got the concessions where everyone buys the popcorn, and there was this little like square cubby hole that on view.
Yeah. And
you just be making popcorn as people are queuing and watching you. It was so weird.
That's what they call the show, isn't it? Now?
Yeah. I used to do the thing like flipping the thing around and catching it. And
people came on a Saturday night just to see you, Mark, make popcorn.
I know.
Did you, when you were at the cinema, because I worked in a bowling alley that was beneath the cinema.
Similar vibes.
Yeah, we got invited a lot to the preview screenings when they did the test reels.
Yeah.
And that was my favourite period of my life, I think.
Yeah. I've had some of my best cinema moments in those test screenings because they wouldn't tell you what it was going to be. And I think it's because, so around that time, everyone got on so well that worked there. We were all mates. We all used to go out clubbing together. Everyone was the same age. Everyone had a similar taste in films. So it's the only time you ever actually go to a cinema and watch it with 30 people you know.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere was incredible. The actual best, this is so funny because cinematically it's probably not considered it, but Jackass, the movie, was the best cinematic thing I've ever experienced.
Yes.
We were rolling with laughter. It was amazing. It was just incredible. I loved it so much. Yeah, I do miss that.
Yeah.
I think you and Dave have had really similar experiences, but like different ends of London.
Yeah, I was in one of those test screenings for Jackass, getting invited to and that screen I was in with all the cinema people broke halfway through. So they had to fix it. So I had to wait half an hour basically for the end of Jackass. And I remember everyone else just going for fags outside and stuff. And I just sat in the cinema. It was great, like really good.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is the same time. So we must be the same age.
I've just turned 40.
Same.
Yeah.
40 this year.
Good age.
Oh, so Two Towers. Yeah, all the Lord of the Rings films was when I was sort of working the floor.
Yeah. The Matrixes, the X-Men 2, Spider-Man 2, I remember seeing. Which one wasn't worth it? Bulletproof Monk. I went and saw that was the waste of time.
Bulletproof Monk.
But
Was that Sean William Scott?
Yeah, and yeah,
Was it?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's a really bad film. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen, actually. But I went and saw the preview screening of The Two Towers, and then I had tickets in the morning to go and watch it first thing at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I did both. That's when you were young and can do cool shit like that.
That's the best.
But now I can't. Is that where your love for films came from, do you reckon, working at a cinema?
Well, I think when I was a kid, we couldn't really afford to go to the cinema that much. But whenever I went, it was the best thing ever. The smell of the popcorn, just the whole experience. I loved it. So I think when I started working at cinema, it was just so much like coming in, like through the senses. Like it was. Yeah, it's hard to explain that feeling of that the cinema gives you.
Yeah.
But it is my favourite place. Like, I go there all the time. I don't like really going with... It's countering what I said about watching a film with all those people. But I love going on my own.
Yeah, me
and
too.
Just sitting there during the day. I went yesterday. I saw 5th of September. Great film. Just had the best time. And it's kind of my chill-out zone. It's the only place I can really switch off, I find.
You throw away your phone.
Yeah, and with my job, like I'm constantly having to think of jokes all the time. So that is the only, I could just sit back and relax and just enjoy it. And I really like watching a film that I don't know anything about as well.
Yeah.
Like the one yesterday. I ain't got a clue what that was about, but it was excellent.
But I keep hearing great things about it.
It's depressing, but brilliant.
The best kind of films to watch on yourself on Sunday daytime or whatever it was. Oh, brilliant. So let's try and land this with Fievel. So have you watched you haven't watched Fievel again since then?
I think I probably had it on VHS when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything about it. But I remember being excited about Three Men and a Little Lady.
Oh yeah.
I remember that being a film where I was really looking forward to it because I loved the first one.
It's a good film, and it's set in England. So
yeah, and it was just that because when you're a kid with sequels, it's like I don't know, it sort of blows your mind, doesn't it? But because back in those days, you used to watch the same film so much, and then you get to see those characters doing something else.
Yeah,
it like incredible.
Also, when you're little, films can't be bad. I mean, everyone finds that one film when you're like, oh. Films can be bad, but there's a sweet spot when everything's just brilliant. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. You don't understand why. There are so many films now that people go, "That's a terrible film." I'm like, "Is it?" Like, I have no idea. Like, I literally loved everything. But I am like that anyway. It is hard for me to find a film I don't like, to be honest.
Yeah,
I literally just had that with my son. He's 9, and we've just watched the first film that he thought was bad. It's like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. We sat down and watched it, and he's like, "That wasn't good." And I was like, "No, it wasn't." And he's like, "But we watched a film and it was bad." And I was like, "Yeah, this happens."
What wasn't good about it?
Oh, he really loves the books, and it's such a massive departure from the books. And in the books, like Percy Jackson's like 10, 11, and in the movie he's like 20.
Yeah, it's like, weird.
He doesn't relate to him at all. Like he's like, "That's not my Percy Jackson." Like that's. Yeah, they ruined it for him. Is
that Percy Jackson a sequel?
There is a sequel. We haven't watched it.
So it's not like the actor had just grown up.
No. They just started him as like an older teen, basically.
Logan Lehman, is that his name?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I've had a wee next to him. That's my claim to fame. In the Noah premiere, I went to the Noah premiere with the Russell Crowe. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
But I went to the toilet before, and I realised Logan was on one side and Douglas Booth was on the other, weirdly, and I was like, this is weird, but okay.
That's amazing. I've had a wee next to a couple of famous people, actually.
Yeah.
Randomly. So one was a friend of mine, actually, but he... it was just really weird how it happened. So it was Ramesh Ranganathan.
Oh, yeah.
And I just stopped at services, and then I just sort of wanted to the toilet, just having a wee, and I just looked to my right, and it was him. It's like such a really weird, random, when it's your friend that you've just stood next. Yeah. And then the other one was WWE wrestler.
Brilliant. Already brilliant.
But it was at a wrestling event, but he was just wandered in his tights into the toilet and just sort of stood next to me, and and that's it's called Matt Cardona, but that's his current name.
Yeah, Zack Snyder, not Zack Snyder. Right. I know. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, not the director.
Movies are on my brain.
Yeah, he's not wrestling.
I was going to say, has he got a new hobby?
Okay, let's move on to the next question quickly. Mark, what is your best ever sequel?
My best ever sequel. Now, it's best of the best too.
Okay, now we have to hear this.
Of course, it's probably some people's worst.
I'd never even heard of these movies, and do you know what? I quite enjoyed it.
Did you watch the first one?
No, I didn't watch the first one. I didn't have time to watch the first one.
Have either of you seen the first one?
No.
Oh, I mean, that does make a lot of difference. Well, so, okay. Wow. Okay.
School us.
Best of the best, the original.
Yep.
Is my 1B top film ever. Favorite.
Okay.
Karate Kid is my first one. But they've swapped a lot as I've grown up. Okay. Best of the best used to be number one. And I did taekwondo when I was a kid. My dad taught it. And all the martial arts films are always karate or kung fu. And Best of the Best was the first film which was actually taekwondo. And I related so much to it because the whole of the first film... Did you research the first one of what happened?
I did. They go, they're a band of different fighters, but they have to come together to fight a team in Korea. And they probably have different personalities. They probably don't like each other at the beginning, but then they coming together, and I don't think they win.
If I'm honest, I don't like your tone.
I was trying to be like, it's gusto.
Oh, it's the best of the best. It's in the title, guys. Some people wouldn't like it, I'm sure. But for me, I relate to it so much because it's about a tournament. It's like training for a tournament. The team in Korea, they're all taekwondo people. The people in the American team, because a lot of the actors aren't martial artists, they're all sorts of... I mean, there is some rubbish. But the main fighter is a taekwondo guy. He's called Philip Ree, is the actor. And I just love it so much. It's got James L. Jones in it. He's the coach, and he's excellent. And I honestly would watch it over and over and over again as a kid. Constantly.
VHS.
I'd make my I'd make my friends watch it. And it was a 15, so it wasn't too old for me really at the time. But there's only a couple of gory bits in the first one. And you're right. And the ending's excellent because they don't win, which is so unusual. But there's a message in them not winning because the bad guy, Daehan, the guy with the eye patch.
The eye patch, I thought it was from the first one. I gathered that.
Yeah. So he's the main bad guy. Well, it's not even the bad guy. He's just a Korean fighter. He's just probably is a nice guy, but they treat him like they're bad guys because that's who they're, coming up against.
Yeah.
And that character actually killed Philip Ree's character's brother in a tournament years before. So that's where the mental anguish comes from, him being put in the ring against him. And then so that's kind of the emotional through line of that character, having to face that fear. And it gets to a point where he basically beat him. He's like the guy's on, it's like Mortal Kombat where he's sort of on his last legs.
Yeah.
And it's the last second and he needs to score the points to win. But if he does it, he's going to kill the guy because he can't defend himself. And it's him making that decision of revenge or doing what's right and losing. So it's a really good kind of message.
It sounds like a great sport film, like a proper...
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Rocky, Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, but it's not got the happy ending, but it is sort of happy ending because at the end, the Koreans give their medals to the the US team. And then that character says, he apologizes. He says he feels bad for his brother and he offers himself as his brother. And it's quite an emotional thing at the end. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
is there a freeze frame at the end? Like, yeah.
It's all them hugging.
Yeah, before it would be.
Yeah, it's not quite Rocky freeze frame or the Mr. Miyagi just looking happy freeze frame, which is the best. Yeah, so I'd watch it over and over, and my brother and I can recite it. It's so sad, really, but we loved it so much. And we'd message each other quotes, and then we just continue the next line, and then he'd do the next line. And it was a nice bonding thing with my brother and I, because like when we were younger, we used to clash like most brothers. But when I got to the age where I could do taekwondo properly, sort of in my teens, and we could train together. He's 4 years older than me, but we were both training for our black belts around the same sort of time. And once we could sort of like dig each other and actually do it properly, we got on so much. Actually, sort of turned a corner, I think, in our bonding because we take it all out on each other on the mat and then get on fine off the mat.
Yeah,
yeah.
So then they got the brothers thing. That's I can relate to that. And in real life, the Daehan actor is Philip Rhee's brother, Simon Rhee.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is why the eye patch comes in, because they probably look too similar.
So they put the eye patch on to tell them apart.
Yeah, but they're actually both like choreographers and fight choreographers.
Oh, he's incredible in even the sequel, the Tommy Lee character.
Yeah, and they're legit martial artists.
You can tell.
And like Daehan, Simon Rhee, he was the choreographer and he trained Johnny Lawrence in Cobra Kai.
Right.
Okay.
So they're all in that mix of stuff of my favourite films. And there's in Cobra Kai there are loads of nods to Best of the Best. Which a lot of people
will miss.
So how do you so that sounds like a really good sport film.
Yeah.
Best of the Best 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Mad, right? Or
I gotta say,
I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
No, I watched it. I really enjoyed it.
No.
I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
It is. Like, it's one of those things. It's not anyone else's best sequel. No, I love it. I'm just glad that I'm giving Best of the Best 2 this airtime.
Yeah.
This is what this podcast is all about, because it doesn't matter what anyone's best sequel is. It's just yours. Like, this is your podcast. It's your sequel. So
the reason it's my best is because I was not allowed to watch this film for years.
Wow.
And it was a constant, it's all I wanted to watch. But it was an 18.
Yeah.
And because of the neck break scene, I wasn't allowed to watch it. And my brother and my dad watched it as soon as it came out on VHS.
Did you own the VHS? Did you be able to see it on the shelf?
No, they rented it.
Okay, that's nice of them.
And I wasn't allowed, but I was told they'd watched it. Do you know what I mean? Which was cruel.
Yeah.
But I was 8 when it came out, so I definitely wasn't old enough. But I wasn't old enough to watch the first one, but there was nothing that bad in the first one, really. So it was this constant thing. And my brother would like give me little nods of tell me like little things that happened. And it just made me want to watch it so much more because I love those characters so much. I just wanted to see what happened. And he'd tell me that the little kid. So in the first one, Alexander Grady's character, Eric Roberts' character, sorry. Alexander Grady, his son gets hit by a car and he's in hospital, and that's his son.
Okay.
That's like his emotional journey in the first film, because he's not allowed to leave training camp, but he does leave to go. And then there's this like, is he going to fight or not? He's not. He's been told, James L. Jones has told him, don't come back, all this stuff. So that character is now training for his black belt. So it's sort of, I guess that's 4 or 5 years on. And so then my brother told me that, and I'm like, what? He's doing taekwondo? What? I got to see it, and I wasn't allowed. And I was that when I was finally allowed to watch it, and it probably, again, I was probably still too young because that neck break scene did bother me. But I think once I got to secondary school, I think I was allowed to watch it.
Yeah.
So I've never had a sequel I've been more excited about and more build up, because when do you ever wait 5 years to watch a sequel?
Yeah,
it's true.
And it did not disappoint.
Oh, good.
Nothing in it disappointed me, other than one of the main characters being killed. But that adds to the story.
I mean, Chris Penn. Chris Penn is weirdly miscast, right? Like, I don't know what I'm presuming he's in the first movie.
So in the first movie, he plays this character. He's like the bad guy within their team.
Right.
Okay.
So he's
the bad boy.
He's bolshy. He basically the through line of the first film, or the James Earl Jones character's thing, is you've got to work as a team. You've never met before. The team is the thing. He gives this big speech about a team is not a team unless you give a damn about one another. It's a really good speech, and he's the one that doesn't get on with anyone. He's racist. He does all sorts of things in the film, but eventually it comes around, and he kind of learns, and he is part of the team. And then, so that's quite a nice kind of character development that you then see. Oh, they're all getting on now. Then they're all best friends. It's quite nice. So then, when he dies, it makes bigger impact. Yeah. And obviously, for those who haven't seen it, which is probably nearly everyone who's listening, they start their own. So 3 of the characters out of the 5 US team start their own taekwondo school in Las Vegas, and then to make some money, Travis Brickley, the dodgy one, Chris Penn, he starts fighting in underground fighting, and he does well because he's a good fighter. But then he fights the main guy. It's like the boss, I guess.
Yeah,
Brackus. Yeah.
Brackus, and Brackus just pulverizes him and kills him in front of Alexander Grady's son.
Yeah,
and then Tommy Lee and Alexander Grady find out about it, and then they go in and they want revenge. And that's kind of where it sort of all starts going a bit mad.
Chris Penn can't fight, right?
No. Well, to be honest, Tommy Lee, the main guy, he can fight.
Yeah.
Eric Roberts, they kind of sell it like he's got this unusual sort of style, and you can kind of believe it because he's athletic.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've watched the film for so many years, it doesn't even enter my head that Travis Brickley is Chris Penn is a weird build and choice. But yeah, absolutely. Obviously, they probably got wind that he'd do it, and they were like, "Yeah, he's a name. Let's get him in the film." And also, he is good in that character in the first film.
He's really good when he's not fighting. Like when he's the character, he's really good. But every time he fights, he just sort of stands there like this.
He looks more like a boxer,
like a computer game character.
That is pretty much that. Yeah, that is his vibe, to be honest. And when he throws the kick, they don't really show his legs on screen.
They kind of do that with Eric Roberts a lot. They kind of hold back his fighting. I mean, he's a lot of montaging, and he does punch a few people, but he doesn't go full martial arts like the Tommy Lee character, who gets the main bulk of the fights.
He's
at the
the
end.
proper fighter.
And when you get him in the Coliseum at the end, it's fucking great. Those 3 fights, it's great.
Because so he has to go through. He can't just go and face the main guy. He has to fight sort of preliminary rounds until he gets to the main guy. And there's sort of weird. What is weird is the people watching. Isn't it mad that they?
Well, is it now? America.
But to be honest, this came out the year UFC started. Okay. So now it's quite normal to see that kind of cage fighting, mixed martial arts thing. But when this came out, you didn't ever really see that. Bloodsport had it was different martial arts against each other. But this was, which I don't think that was probably the first one, Bloodsport, I think. And then you added weapons to it as well, which added sort of, and interestingly, so they go off to a ranch. This is where there are things that Tommy Lee is suddenly we discover he's got adopted by a Native American family.
I did wonder.
And Tommy Lee is of Korean descent. So in the that's not even no one's mentioned that in the first film. You see flashbacks in the first film to when his brother dies and he's a little kid with his mum and dad there. So something happens after that, but which never gets explained.
Brilliant.
To why he ends up on this, adopted by this family. And he goes there to train while the bad guys are sort of hunting them down. And that stick, when they learn how to fight with sticks. So when I went for my black belt, that's how I learned to use a stick from watching that film. I studied it so close because in our black belt, you had to do a demonstration of something that you didn't learn in class. So you had to sort of go away and kind of bring something else to the table. So I just watched how they did the spinning, and I'd watch it in sort of slow motion. And basically, that's how I learned how to use.
That's brilliant.
That's very cool.
And then in the 4th Best of the Best, that's right, there's 4. Did you guys know that?
I
knew there was 3.
No.
Yeah, the 3rd one is really bad, and I could have put that on the worst, but again, it's Best of Best. I'm not going to do that to my favourite franchise. But the fourth one, it just becomes, because it's just Tommy Lee, and that's where it loses its way a bit. Even though he's brilliant. And the fourth one is basically a standalone film, and it's solid. And at the end, he does a demonstration of self-defense techniques, and I also picked up some of those from that. Just studied it and watched what he was doing, because he's legit.
Brilliant.
So yeah,
he is legit.
Awesome.
I was obsessed.
Can we talk quickly about the James character, the Sonny Langdon? Now, he's famously a madman in real life, or wasn't he? Because on the Predator shoot, they had to get a security guard not to protect him, but to protect the people around him when he went out drinking.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's a well-known thing. Yeah, he's
that character is like literally him then.
Yeah.
A drunk fighting.
So he's adopted. And I couldn't work out the family relation, but now you've said
that's what I was going to ask. Is he brother or uncle or
dad?
What he is?
Because Grandma was there as well, and she said son.
I think Grandma adopted Tommy Lee for some reason. What? Just explain it. Do you know what I mean? That is annoying for someone who's watched it in so much detail. Yeah, and that's her legit son.
Right.
I think. So they grew up together, I'm guessing. And then he also fights. And it's a bit of a coincidence that he had a car accident, and then we discover that accident wasn't a car; it was Brackus.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah, and so that's a bit of a coincidence out of the whole of America that they just happen to be fighting the same bloke.
Yeah, and then it turns a bit gangstery, which is mad for a second with the exploding of the house and
all the guns and stuff.
There's some overacting in there, but it's all great fun. It is a lot of fun. Honestly, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Really? Because when I told you, your response on Instagram was ha ha ha
ha. Well, when you mention Eric Roberts, I get instantly nervous. And this is an era of his films that I didn't know.
You should watch the first one.
Yeah, I might do now.
I think I will, actually, because I genuinely quite enjoyed it.
It sounds like a completely different kind of genre, to be honest.
It is, but the reason it works is because you know that with sequels they always say you've got to step up, and sometimes it goes. I mean, you might say this was too mad, but because the first one wasn't like street fighting, it was a tournament, which you didn't really get in any other martial arts films. It did just do that. What you needed for it to do is sort of step up a gear.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I love one bit that like really made me laugh. Like quite near the start is like Brackus like berates someone for having a gun, and he's like, "There's no guns here. You know, you don't have guns." Yeah. And then literally the next thing is the announcer going, "There are no rules here." Like they blatantly are, because he just said, "No guns." That's a rule.
I also was like, I know that man, the big fella Brackus guy. Where have I seen him before? And then it turns out he's in Gladiator.
Yes,
he's
the big guy.
He's the big guy in Gladiator. So it came out in 93. You weren't allowed to watch it for like 5 years or whatever. So what age did you finally get to watch it?
So I'm thinking probably 14.
Wow, maybe you had to wait a while, man.
Maybe 30. Maybe it wasn't as long, but it felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
It was just, I think it's definitely the most excited I've been about watching something.
What was that day? Did your dad come to you like, it's time, like the heavens opened? I
think it was more like,
I'm going to sneakily watch it.
If you'll stop going on about it, I think it was more like that. And I think we got it on VHS. I don't think they rented it for me to watch it. I think they bought it. And also the VHS, which you don't see it ever. So the first VHS, the cover it's like a diamond. You've got Eric Roberts at the front, and then you've got Tommy Lee just behind, and Travis Brickley, and then the other two behind them, just sort of in their geese, sort of looking forward and menacing. And the sequel was the exact same poster with just the others removed. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
But although it sounds cheap, it actually was really cool, because you're just like, oh yeah, this has got serious. Like it's changed, and they changed the background color as well.
Yeah,
it's not an easy movie to find. It's not on any streaming service.
I was worried that you were going to say I couldn't have it.
No. We had to set sail a little bit.
We found it. Yeah, we maybe slightly piratey found it, but we found it.
Well done.
The only other option was like driving to Northampton, where they had one in a CEX on Blu-ray. I'm like, no.
But watching it pirate is actually probably relived the experience of watching it on VHS.
Oh yeah,
pretty much,
it's a good copy.
Well, I watched it on VHS forever, and then when it came out on DVD, I bought that, and the light was better. Like it was brighter, and like, there's so much I missed in the first film. It was like watching the whole thing again.
Oh wow!
Like the thing where the guy has the nunchucks. There's an extra scene added. That was it as well. There was a whole nunchuck scene.
Oh yeah, that was in the one we watched. Yeah,
that wasn't in the first one. It was like an extended part of it.
Okay.
For some reason, they took it out of the VHS. So that was really exciting, and be able to see like details of things. Like I actually watched Edward Scissorhands recently, and I only had that on VHS, and it was really grainy. And I think that was a pirate VHS that we had.
Brilliant.
So watching it in the full is amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Really taking the whole world.
Did you react in the playground, your best of the best stuff to your friends? Or is that too dangerous? Because you're basically a lethal weapon by that point, I imagine.
Yeah, well, I was anyway because I was trained. But a lot of my friends did the class because we did it at my dad did it at my primary school after in the hall. So a lot of the local kids used to do the class. But I did get a lot of my friends into it.
Yes.
And make them watch it a lot. And I had a friend that they lived just out of the village, and his mum would drop him off and just be at my house for like half hour before we went to school. And I just always have it on. And every day, just watch it over and over. The kids don't get that anymore. They don't get that love for films. And that's why there's no quotes anymore. Have you noticed that there are no film quotes anymore? Because no one watches a film long enough to pick up quotes. I can't think of anything like any of the Terminator quotes or anything in recent years.
Yeah.
Of any film.
I mean, my son has autism, so if he likes something, he will watch it over and over and over again. So have been films. We were talking the other day, like Sing 2, when I watched it for the podcast, and then George, my son, then loved it and watched it like 15 times in a row, over and over again. And I'm like, my God, please stop.
But that's how it should be.
I do miss those. Because you used to have a certain period, you have to watch that film. You only rented it for like 24 hours, 40 hours.
Yeah,
how many times can I fit this film into that time? And it was annoying when you had to go, went to school and you're like, this is wasted time. I could be watching that film.
Yeah. I can't wait to get home. Yeah. We used to have a video man. Did you ever have a video
Rich
man?
Had a video man.
We did. Yeah, we had a video van.
Did you call it a video man?
Yeah, it's a video man.
Did, but it's weird that everyone called it.
It's a village film, I think.
And I did live in a village.
Oh, really? He'd come round with his car, and it's so dodgy, really, because my parents would just let me wander outside with this guy, look at his boot, into his boot, and just pick a film, and then watch that all week, and then he'd come the next week, and that was so brilliant. I was always
like
excited.
a little white Bedford rascal van. It's like if a child was going to get kidnapped, that's the van he's going to get kidnapped in.
There must have been loads actually that used that for evil. But it was so funny. Every week I loved wrestling. Right, I was a big wrestling fan, still am, and
no shame.
I used to every time he came, I'd say, "Have you got any wrestling videos?" And of course he didn't, because he's just got films, right? And he'd go, no wrestling videos. And I'd ask him that every week. He must have got so fed up with me. But now I'm looking at it. If that was me, I'd get some wrestling videos for that kid.
Yeah,
me too.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, at least did he have best of the best?
Customer service.
We had that on we had that on VHS, so we didn't need that off him.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pup, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was getting frustrated by your forms. Now, Taxes is uploading your forms with a snap, and a TurboTax expert will do your taxes for you. One who's backed by the latest tech, which cross-checks millions of data points for absolute accuracy, all of which makes it easy for you to get the most money back, guaranteed. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
What has been your most disappointing sequel? So it doesn't have to be your worst sequel. This is not your worst sequel. Okay. It doesn't even have to be a bad sequel, but it's one you went in high and you came out low.
Anchorman 2.
Oh, yes.
That's a good shout.
Anchorman should not have had a sequel. Anchorman was lightning in a bottle. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And I think when you've got a perfect film, you can't, especially comedy, it's so hard to make a perfect comedy. And that was actually when we used to watch the previews.
Yeah.
Other than Jackass, that was my favourite preview I ever saw because it was amazing. I remember it so clearly. Went with my girlfriend at the time. She was working at cinema as well. Everyone in there, it was really busy. It was like midnight or something. And we literally knew nothing. So when you watch a perfect film and know nothing about it first, you're just getting this full experience. And also, which is interesting, I think, that with a lot of those sort of films, is in America, they all knew these people because of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
We didn't have Saturday Night Live. So that was the first time I'd ever seen Will Ferrell. And I knew nothing about it. It said Anchorman. I was like, I don't even know what an Anchorman is. What even is that? And it was the funniest. And when Steve Carell just does anything,
yes,
yeah,
you're just like, what am I watching? This is surreal genius.
The hit rate of those jokes just keep on coming. And quotable.
We're talking about everything is a hit.
Yeah.
So making a sequel, I was so high going in, and it's the opposite of the experience I had when I watched the first one. Because the first one, it was 0. I was at maybe minus because I was tired, and so it was just the best experience. And then going in hoping it was as good, and I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what happens in Anchorman 2, but I just know it probably is funny in places.
I heard it's basically all the jokes they cut out of the first one. And they thought, we've got all this material we could kind of use for
I think they filmed
one.
new stuff as well.
They did film new stuff as well, but like the crux of it is a lot of the jokes are the ones that didn't make it into the first movie. So it was never going to be as good.
No.
Because it's just the leftovers. Right?
The stuff I remember about it is that there's a bigger fight, which isn't as good, with all the different news crews.
Because they're trying too hard.
Yeah. And the people that are in it, are not hugely funny. Like Kanye West turns up in it and you're like, nah. Even at that point, I was like, what are you doing here? And then I know there's a story. Does Ron Burgundy goes blind for a bit, doesn't he? Or something like that.
Other than the big fight, I can't remember anything about it.
Well, his son gets a pet shark at one point, and there's a musical number to that. Veronica gets a new husband or a boyfriend. It's Greg Kinnear, I think.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff there. There's some racial stuff because Ron goes out with a black woman for a while, and that's all, playing in the types of whatever era they were doing. Yeah,
I remember this.
That's I remember watching it and think this is bitterly disappointing because Anchorman is so good. And like you said, it kind of came out of nowhere, especially in the UK, because, no Saturday Night Live, or I didn't know it was a thing. I think I saw Will Ferrell in Old School and he was funny.
Was Old School first, was it?
Old School was first.
I got Old School on DVD after Anchorman, I think, off the back of Anchorman.
Oh, okay.
I was like, who is this guy? Where is he from? But it's funny because, like, all those films, like Wayne's World, when we watched Wayne's World for the first time, we knew nothing of...
Nothing as a skit, didn't know.
Yeah, so in America, they just watch these films with such a different lens.
Yeah.
And, like, Austin Powers, all of these things. That was the first time I didn't know... It took me a long time to realise that was the same person.
Okay.
I didn't know when I was a kid. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's the guy from The Thing. And also Gar is my favourite character in any, like, for character comedy. I watched it the other day and I just don't know how he came up with that character. It's incredible. Incredible what he does with his face and the voice. Like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Do you think the sequel's better in the Wayne's World, or quickly, or do you think the original's better?
As a kid, I think I did.
Yeah.
But watching now, I think the original is probably better.
The gun rack line makes me laugh in the first one. I don't have a gun, let alone a gun rack. But I think the second one in there, let me be frank with you. And he's like, okay, but can I still be Garth or whatever like that?
Yeah.
That still hits half. But with Anchorman, I don't remember any of the jokes, and it doesn't have that love that the first one is. Has it tainted that first film for you?
No, because I've forgotten it.
Okay, that's good.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? You can forget it really easily.
And talk about quoting. Anchorman is something that was one of the last films that me and my friends would quote constantly, all the time at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the characters. The only character I don't really find great is who's the guy with the hat?
Is it Champ?
Yeah, that character was always the one that. Yeah, I didn't really get that.
I think you get that more if you're American.
Yeah, if it is a sports.
Yeah. And was he on Saturday Night Live or not? He's just a comic actor, was he?
I think he's just a comic actor. What's his name? David Kosh.
Because everyone else skyrocketed after that film, didn't they?
Yes. And he's the one who kind of left, I would say left behind. That might be a bit mean, but Carell had The Office and Rudd is just, well, the eternal youthful man that he seems to be not aging at all.
Yeah.
The Sex Panther line is in the first one's mum makes me laugh. And I love Lamp, that's...
I love, all of those.
Yeah.
So good.
You ate
so
a whole
good.
wheel of cheese.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a shame about the second one because if that was good, would there have been a third one, or would that have been too much?
Well, it's only. I just think there's only a certain number of jokes you can or storyline you can have within that environment, and the first one covered it.
Yeah.
I think. Well, what else are you gonna do? Go to the Wild West? Like, what are you gonna do? Do you know what I mean? I know.
Comedy sequels are notoriously hard anyway.
There's
how
not
can you
many.
be similar without being the same? It's really difficult.
Yeah, it's like Zoolander. That was disappointing.
That's crap. Let's be honest.
I'm really worried about Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, me too.
Really worried about that.
Yeah,
I love the first one so much. I'm really looking forward to the new one.
Again, but that's it. The expectations too high. Coming to America, that was disappointing.
Dumb and 2, that was awful.
Yep. Well, everyone hated that opening joke, but I loved it.
Which is the opening joke?
Where he just pretended he was...
Oh, yeah.
It's so stupid. But yeah, it doesn't hold up to the first one at all.
No.
So, yeah, you're right. That is I never thought about that, about the comedies. There aren't many that... What is a good... I mean, Wayne's World is a good sequel.
Wayne's World is a good sequel.
Wayne's World,
it's not as good. But I can't think of many.
I can't think of many other good comedy sequels.
Police Academy 2, is that a good one?
Not really.
I rewatched the first one the other day, and it was not good.
Not good. No. Well, we've watched the 7th one recently, whatever it is.
Mission to Moscow.
Yeah, not good.
Oh, my days.
that was a big tradition with my dad and my brother is watching the Police Academy. As soon as they came out, we rented them, and we loved them. But yeah, they're just not very funny now.
Mission to Moscow, we watched it literally like I got an hour into the movie and I was like, I haven't laughed once.
Which one?
Mission to Moscow. Yeah, that one. I was like,
oh yeah, but that was notoriously bad anyway, I think.
not a single, not even a chuckle.
Would you say Three Men and a Little Lady is a good comedy sequel? Would you cast that as a comedy?
I haven't rewatched it for a long time.
Yeah.
But I believe so.
Good.
And also, I think so. Because it made sense, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's quite nice to see where that all ended up after the first one. Like when she's grown up, how are they involved in the kid's life?
I would love to see a third one. Even now, I'd watch a third one.
Yeah, because you could, because are they all...
Well, Danson's still brilliant. I don't know if you watched A Man Inside, the Netflix new TV series. Really good.
I haven't seen it, but I know he's good in everything.
It's good, funny, and then episode 4 made me cry. And Tom Selleck is still the man. I mean, he's still going. Gutterberg hasn't done anything, but he's alive. He's alive.
He's alive. Johnny 5 is alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, there we go.
Well, there's a link. Mark, what is your worst ever sequel?
It's Short Circuit 2.
This is a good answer, because that film is rubbish.
Yeah. And again, my choice, it comes from it, like what I was feeling at the time of when watching it. Like, I was very excited about watching it. Very excited. I loved the first one. We had it on VHS. Like, I rewatched the first one a couple of days ago as well, just to remind myself of it. And like, it is silly, but it kind of makes sense, the story. If you're going to have a robot that comes alive, it kind of makes sense. Like, it as a whole, it's got all the parts you need. It's not the best film in the world, but as a kid, I loved it because it's got that ET thing about it, hasn't it? Which I guess is where, probably where they got their ideas. But this was the first sequel I ever watched where the main characters weren't in it, and my poor child brain didn't understand this, and I was just waiting for Steve Guttenberg to turn up because I bloody loved him because I loved Three Men and a Little Baby, Three Men and a Little Lady. I loved Police Academy.
He had a moment.
Yeah, he was. I never really thought about it, but I was a massive fan of his. I just found him so funny. And when he just never showed up, I just couldn't. I just can't understand why. Why wouldn't he show up? So as a kid, I was disappointed in that. And the rest of the film, I probably didn't really know that it was bad. It's just you're a kid, you like whatever it is. But I do remember being so disappointed. And then I rewatched it again yesterday, and it's just a really, really bad film. It's just mad. It's just mad.
Were you aware at the time, because the big problem now is with the Fisher Stevens character, isn't it? Were you aware at the time he wasn't Indian? Because it wasn't even a thing for me when I was young.
Of course not. Yeah, no, yeah. And I don't think anyone, back in those days, no one, obviously no one cared because they wouldn't have let it happen.
Twice.
Twice, and give him more to say.
Yeah.
Because in the first one, he's just a side character, really.
Yeah.
He's worse in the second one, definitely. Oh, it feels a lot worse in the second one.
It's madness. Like, what? Like, so why is he there? Why is he selling these little robots?
I don't know.
And when one of the robots sort of goes off on his own, why is the robot going off his own? He hasn't been hit by lightning.
How does the robot go off its own?
Yeah, he's not been hit by lightning. Yeah. And then the woman up in the office finds it, who just happens to be looking for the next toy to sell. And then she suddenly turns up outside. How did she know where he came from? Like that, none of it makes any sense.
No. When I was young, it's one of those sequels that kind of blends in with the first one a lot. So I couldn't tell you what was Johnny Circuit, like just Short Circuit 1 and Short Circuit 2.
Yeah.
Turns out, I think I've pretty much forgotten Short Circuit 2 until the end when he's got the mohawk. I kind of remember that scene.
Yeah, I remember the mohawk and him being gold at the end.
Yes,
that's
gold
about
is
all
the thing I remember.
Yeah.
But I remember, my memory is that he was gold for more of the film. I thought, when I was watching it, I was like, oh yeah, he's got beat up.
Yeah.
He's a mess. And this is where they ramp him up and he comes out and he's gold. But it wasn't. It's just gold right in the last scene.
Right at the end.
Yeah.
How does he become gold?
Well, they become rich.
Yeah, but what do they do? Do they anodize him or something?
Or gold plate him?
Have to take him apart.
Or was there a plan that would be explained in the next film? Or was that going to be the new branding? Or was that they'd be able to sell more toys if there's a gold version as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. There could be a new version, yeah.
I don't know.
The little toy would have been a cool toy.
Yeah.
For a kid at the time. I probably wanted one. But like you, I was very surprised when Steve Guttenberg did not turn up in that movie. And then, is it Michael McKean from...
Michael McKean,
from Spinal Tap turns up.
Yeah. He's probably the best thing in it.
Yeah.
I think. Like, he sort of knows what he's in, knows what movie he's in.
He's the biggest actor in it. Well, I suppose the other guy is, but he's not really. We can't talk about him. That's just madness. But also, why is he Indian?
I don't know. How that is integral to the story in any way.
There's literally nothing other than maybe being an immigrant, and you kind of use that as I'm an outsider as well, like you are the robot.
Yeah,
they kind of delve into that a bit.
But then the first one, they have a joke where Steve Guttenberg's like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Oh, Pittsburgh." And like Queens or something. And then he's like, "No, where are your ancestors from?" And he's like, "Oh, Pittsburgh." So he's not even in it's not even like he's that Indian. And then the second one, he has to like do citizenship.
Yeah,
but you've just told us you're not from here.
But the thing is, but the robot does citizenship as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does.
So that's So I know the first film is mad, but like
it's
I say,
fun. It's fun,
and it's almost in reality. It's like if there was a robot that came to life, this is maybe kind of how people would react, and you'd hide him a bit, and why? So they go at the end of the first film. They go off go to Montana to keep under the radar.
Yeah,
and then they send him to New York.
Why would they do that?
Around? And why the government not chasing him like they did in that? Do you know what I mean? There's so many things like that because he's still a killer robot.
Yeah,
that's what he's designed for. But shall I tell you something I picked up in the first film, which I think is interesting? Now, you guys, because you know films probably better than I do, has there ever been anything like this before? So in the first film, Steve Guttenberg is the main character. Lovable, likable guy. In the government, the guy who's the bad guy and is sent to go and sort of get the robot and destroy it, is Captain Harris from Police Academy.
Police Academy, yeah.
So they're playing the same roles in two separate franchises. Like, when has that ever happened?
I mean, the guy, the Captain Harris guy, he basically plays the same role in every movie he's in. Because he's also like the security guard in Mannequin as well, where he's basically the same guy. Like, it's like every movie I've seen him in, he's just the same person.
It must have been the same era as well, though.
It is, It was within the. I think it's probably around the second and third Police Academy.
Yeah,
but also with Police Academy 5, I was also so gutted that Steve Guttenberg wasn't in it. Like that ruined the whole thing because he's the main guy. He's the likable. Although if you watch the first Police Academy now, he's a bit creepy. But yeah, he was. Yeah, it turns out I was a massive fan.
I think a lot of people were, and then he just. I don't know if he just disappeared, or I don't remember him not making films that were disappointing or rubbish. It was just he was there and he wasn't. It was like a magic trick.
With Short Circuit 2, apparently he wouldn't sign on to it without a script because they wanted him to sign on without a script. And apparently he's come out in recent years and said he actually regrets not being in it. But I'm assuming he doesn't mean being. I'm assuming it would be a completely different film.
Yeah,
if he was in it because it's just crowbarred, isn't it? Why? Because they're like, we can't have him, so we've got to use one of the other characters. So I'd love to know what the plan would have been if he had done it.
Yeah,
well, I'm surprised they still haven't done a third one, but maybe the third one is being held back because of the Indian character. You can't do that now.
No,
I think if anything, they just do a remake now,
and that would work for you.
My gut instinct is, what's the point?
Yeah,
like in this day and age, at the time, it's very 80s, and it was very cool, wasn't it? Because of the technology, and I guess you could do more modern AI. You'd want it to be a dark version, wouldn't you? That's just RoboCop.
The new version of RoboCop was shit when they updated it, and the love of RoboCop is the way it was looked, and then they did a weird thing in the remake, and that's not RoboCop anymore. So maybe the same with Johnny.
It'd be too unbelievable now, and people want it to be more realism, and I just don't think it would work, would it?
No. Also,
I don't think it would.
Quick question. Is he not called Johnny in the first film? Does he not call him?
I've just picked up on that. He's called Johnny at the end.
Yeah, at the end, he decides what his name is. Yeah, like last thing in the first movie.
Yeah. So the whole, like, Johnny Five
is alive, yeah.
All that must have all come from the second film, which I didn't know, when we used to quote it and stuff.
Yeah. When did you see these films? I'm guessing, was it the Video Van Man?
It would have been probably taped off TV.
Oh, never
VHS.
good times. Never good times.
Yeah. It was. We had definitely had that on one of the, because we used to have sort of a couple of films on each VHS, and that was definitely on one of them.
Long play.
But I don't think we had number 2. I think I saw number 2, but we didn't own it, so that's why my memory of it wasn't as good.
I think for me, I'm a little bit older than both of you. I think the biggest disappointment for me was Ali Sheedy being missing from the second one. Because just give at that kind of 12, 13, when you're just starting to notice girls, like Ali Sheedy was where it's at.
It was weird that the robot was checking her out.
Yeah.
That was odd.
I'm glad that was cut from the second
one. In the bar, yeah.
But her voice is in it, isn't it? Her voice is in it, and that's it. I wonder what she got paid to put her voice in it for that one line.
Hopefully a lot.
Yeah, but she could have been in it. There's no reason that she couldn't have got involved.
Well, you can't have 2 love interests, I guess. You've already got...
She's not Ben's love interest.
She wouldn't, no.
She's with Steve Guttenberg's character, isn't she? So, I don't know. Maybe that's because he didn't come back, she didn't come back, because they're both together in Montana or wherever they are.
It's the bit that didn't work. Is it the heist bit of the movie?
The one bit.
Yeah. Or the fish out of water kind of stuff is all fun.
The heist bit's mad because they just happen to be like digging under the where they're the shop. It's all a bit convenient, and also the bad guys aren't. They're not really like, you don't remember them. You know, like Home Alone, 2 bad guys, very well.
Yeah.
Like you know them, but those two, they're just those you're not invested in them at all. I don't think. And there's a bit of Home Alone vibe to it as well, wasn't there? When they were breaking in and he'd set up traps and
there's sort of there's a little bit of that, isn't there?
It's not fun though, is it?
It's not
fun.
And
the last bit, the chase bit where he's going in the boat. Why didn't the guy in the boat? Why didn't he just sort of go further away from the from the coast?
Yeah,
like it's just so stupid.
Some of these bits look so rubbish as well. It's like you've clearly just got a toy Johnny Five that you've thrown off a bridge.
They just threw everything at it, didn't they?
Does he get destroyed like that in the first one as well? Because I have that memory.
No, he definitely doesn't. No.
Okay, cool.
I watched the first one like yesterday. I watched the first one and the second one back to back yesterday.
Did you watch them with your kid, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was feeling ill and had a cold, so I just watched them in bed like a little sad old man.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed the first one, and by the time the second one came around, I was like, I'm done with you, Johnny Five. Go away.
Yeah, because in the first one, they get the other robots to kind of sort him out, and then he
just destroys them. Yeah. He destroys the other robots really easily. Also, like, there's supposed to be an $11 million, which at the time was loads of money, like a killing machine that they're going to drop into Russia. These things are really fucking fragile. like, for being some sort of like super soldier robot, you just take them down with a stick.
I don't understand how he gets up downstairs in the subway and stuff. How you can't climb.
No, his tracks kind of like move though.
Well, there's a bit where he goes into the sewer in the second one.
Yeah, there is. No idea how he does that bit.
It makes no sense to me at all. It's a bad sequel. No one's picked it. No one's even mentioned Short Circuits on here before, and you're the first one to bring it up. And I thought it would have been.
It's forgotten though. No one talks about it, and I don't know whether streaming platforms don't have it on because of
the Fisher Stevens
the issues. Because you have to buy it if you want, so you'd have to search for it to find it.
Do you think they would put a thing at the start now saying racial? I don't know what the wording will be. Like a warning.
They haven't done.
Oh, okay.
but I mean, if it was on a streaming platform for free, they might.
Yeah, they might do.
They might.
The first one you can get on Amazon Prime for free.
Oh, okay.
But he's not in it much, is he? So I guess it's not a.
They don't say anything about it.
Yeah. But do they do that with films? Do they put those warnings
Disney
on?
do.
Disney do on Disney Plus, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
With a lot of their stuff now.
Yeah.
Which is better than editing it out, but I suppose you can't edit the Ben character. Yeah, that'd be a very different film.
Yeah, it was just voice over a different voice. And
Yeah.
then just, because you probably would. You could just have a normal, like his real voice, his normal voice.
Well, the problem is, I think they've also, I don't know if the word is.
You'd have to take the jokes out about India.
Yeah, and they've darked him up.
Yeah, they've brown-faced him,
They've brown-faced him, which is, I think, one of the main problems with it. I mean, they must have been able to find a character from India. Anyway, that's going down a whole other...
Yeah, I mean, in those days, there probably weren't many sort of that they were pushing.
Yeah.
Many actors of... Yeah.
It's a bit sad.
But it's good that we've moved on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good, so good, so good.
Get ready, because Clear the Rack is on at your Nordstrom Rack store. Now through Monday, find incredible deals on Wear Now styles. On sale for even less at Nordstrom Rack. Take an extra 25% off red tag clearance throughout the store from brands like Adidas, Marc Jacobs, Steve Madden, and more. All sales final. The best stuff goes fast. So shop this sale at Nordstrom Rack today. Please see NordstromRack.com or ask a store associate for details.
This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
What sequel seemed like a bad idea, but you ended up liking?
Oh, seemed like a bad idea, but I ended up liking. Can you give me an example?
So, like, Fast and Furious 5 comes up quite a lot. Like, you're done with the franchise, and then a good one comes along, and I'm back in.
Well, I have got one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa.
Yes.
Because that is for me, that's the best film of all of them.
Okay.
I love it. And after all of them, when you go into it, you're probably thinking that's just another, it'll probably be a good film, but it's not. But it's just the way they approach it, and I guess it's a bit, it is unrealistic, I suppose, but the storyline and the fact that his wife died and his son's not talking to him, and just that it's a real film. It's grittier, I think.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I loved that one, and it's got the best quote, like monologue
mantra.
Oh, it's so good. Like it proper gets me. Yeah, come on.
I've told the story that once I ran the London Marathon in 2012, and to get myself up the night before, I watched Rocky Balboa.
Really?
So it's really inspirational for me, and I can see where you'll come from, because after Rocky 5, which people have picked as bad sequels.
But that is an example of when you're a kid. I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, of course. I loved it. I didn't know any better.
You like fighting. We'll get on to more of the fighting business.
Yeah. I do.
The problem with Rocky 5 is that Rocky can't solve his problems by fighting, so he solves his problems by fighting.
Yeah. But the good thing about Rocky 5 is they do change the angle.
They do.
Because the angle is always him training for a fight, does the fight, wins the fight. But this one, it does change the angle, because he's not training for a fight, he's training someone else. It is a slightly different thing.
Yeah.
And then it's a street fight at the end. It is true, though, isn't it?
It's true. And then it's like, my ring's outside and I didn't hear no bell. And it's got some...
What's wrong with that? That's brilliant.
Put some hustle behind the muscle and stuff. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Rockies through my life, and the fifth one is... I watched them when the last one came out. We did all the Creeds, and with Rocky 5, basically, I fast-forward it to bits. I was like, this is what you need to know. This is a good bit. But there's some horrible, terrible acting, especially after the brilliance of Rocky 4, which... is probably my highlight of the series, because it's just mad, brilliant. And
it is mad.
I don't know. I love it. I love it so much. And then 5's just, it seems like out of time, out of place. They're trying to make it cool and hip and,
Yeah. It's like a transition.
We're in the 90s now, but it still feels like they've made it in the 80s.
Yeah, they were trying to get into, 100%.
But at least with Rocky Balboa, it feels like a proper film. And I remember going to see that in the cinema and people were like cheering. It was a really good screening.
Yeah.
So,
and I really like that they kind of, they were realistic in you can't fight like you used to.
Yeah.
So you've got to hit him and hurt him.
Hurt him bombs.
Hurt him bombs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah.
I love that they brought Duke back, or whatever his name was.
And
I was worried when they didn't have Adrian in it, because what's a Rocky film without Adrian?
Yeah, but she is in it, isn't she? In spirit. Because
she is, yeah.
Because she's involved. Like, the story is to do with her, isn't it?
The first scene is, when he's talking to the grave.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It is a great film. When did you see that in the cinema, I guess?
Yes.
Or did you stay away from it because you thought, I don't want to see a new Rocky film?
No, I definitely would have. It's one of those where I wanted to see it.
Okay,
but
good.
In the back of your mind, you're like, how's this going to work? He's old now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he came back for more Creeds. How do you feel about the Creeds films then?
I enjoyed them. I did enjoy them.
Yeah.
I didn't like the most recent one as much. And whether is that because Rocky's not in it? I don't know.
I like them, but there is a Rocky hole in Creed 3.
Yeah, but I like I enjoyed the Russian little nostalgia of the second Creed, which was really nice. And again, you get a bit of character development as well, isn't there, with that Russian sort of character?
Yeah, it gave him a bit more of a backbone.
Yeah. And he's sort of seen he's not just evil.
He's not just evil. Rocky Stallone, would you have given him an Oscar for either Rocky, let's say 1, 6, or Creed? Because he nearly got it for Creed. He got nominated. And I think he got nominated for the first one, but he never won for actors.
Did he?
Yeah.
I think for Balboa, I think that would have been a nice... I think
he's
that.
really good in that. He's
really
good in that.
I can't remember how good he is at actually acting-wise in it, but... That Balboa is excellent. And also they like that, don't they, where someone's coming back out of nowhere and putting in a performance of a lifetime. Kind
of like due it. I don't know if Stallone's ever been due an Oscar, though, for just playing the same part or the same character for 50 years or whatever. But he was it's good.
But quite often with Oscars, it's that you have one scene that is the thing. And that scene where he's...
Talk to his son.
That's that. I think that,
I think he leaves it all on the table on that scene. Like, that's Stallone's best acting moment in all the movies.
Gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's an incredible film. Rich has only recently, when I say recently, since we're doing this podcast, watched all the Rockies. So he's watched them out of order.
Really? I watched them all out of order. Yeah. Oh. So I'd seen 1 and I'd seen 4, and I don't think I'd seen 2 and 3.
Yeah,
but I definitely hadn't seen Rocky Balboa until recently, and that's really good.
They're the sort of films that you just watch when they're on telly, wouldn't you? So so it's just whatever's on in the order.
Yeah. But I've always loved 4.
How was the experience of watching them all?
Oh, amazing! Me and Dave went to watch the Stallone re-released the director's cut of 4 at the cinema, and he cuts out all the robot and stuff, all the weird shit, basically. It's
really?
It's like half an hour shorter. You know,
worth
director's
watching.
cut's normally longer, but this is like a half hour shorter because he cuts out all the weird stuff.
And he cuts out his ex-wife as well.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he cuts her out a lot.
Hang on, what robots?
From the 4th.
In 4, there's like the robot thing, isn't there?
The robot thing?
Yeah, Paulie gets Stallone.
Rocky
buys him a robot.
Sorry, but because the Russians have all the high-tech equipment, I thought you were talking about the Russians.
No, like Paulie's robot. Yeah.
Right, okay. No, I'd forgotten about
that. That's all gone. And they give... Bridget Nielsen's gone. And they give...
really?
Yeah.
She's in it for like 2 minutes, like if that. Right?
Yeah, she doesn't say anything. And then they do give Drago a little bit more background.
Yeah.
And make him a little bit more human.
What, they've added scenes?
Yeah. They have, added a little bit,
It's brilliant.
It was a good... We went to it.
It's really good. It was really good, actually.
It was even better because someone nearly had a fight in the screening we're in.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Some drunken people were in there.
Was it
and people were happy. Oh, I wish.
Kick it off.
It was good fun, though. What is your dream sequel?
Okay, so my dream sequel, there was a sequel, but we're ignoring.
This is a fix. We're going sequelizers here. Yeah,
we're fixing it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a sequel to Karate Kid 3.
I love this. I've been waiting for Karate Kid for 8 seasons. I've been waiting for Karate Kid to come up.
Had one?
We've had Next.
Well, yeah, we had Next Karate Kid as the worst. Yeah,
because I think people are put off from making a dream one because what you're going to follow 4. Like that doesn't make any sense. You want to ignore 4. But to be fair, I like 4 for Mr. Miyagi. I think he's good in it. But the rest of it is it's so bad.
None of it makes any sense at all.
It's just a TV movie.
There's no karate in it until the last 5 minutes.
No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't. Obviously, you covered this film anyway, but it doesn't make sense that and the bad guy, the coach, the bad guy,
Michael Ironside. Yeah.
Like he's worse. They're meant to get more evil and more scary as sequels go on, but he's like he's just a bloke who's a PE teacher.
Yeah, he's building like a cult. That's pretty much what he's doing in the last one.
Yeah, it's and that bird nonsense.
Yeah,
Anyway, so ignore that.
Anyway, we're ignoring that. So we are doing a sequel after Part 3.
Yeah.
Before Cobra Kai and this new one that's about to come out. So
yeah, I love Cobra Kai and I think it's brilliant. So I almost didn't pick this because my dream sequel is very different to Cobra Kai because you could go that route because but you can't beat that. I just think it's the best thing that's ever been made, Cobra Kai. Like Karate Kid is my favorite film ever, and Cobra Kai, I was there from day one. YouTube Red, first day it came out, it just incredible. It's that kind of. So I love wrestling, as I've mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and fighting.
So the biggest criticism of Karate Kid 3 was they kind of just went back to the first one. So it's just very similar to the first one because it goes back just to doing the tournament and all that sort of thing. So the second one's interesting because they go to Okinawa and then they just go back to the same old thing. So it needs to be a gear change from that. So what I think happens is Terry Silver, he loses his mind after the third one.
Right.
He lost.
And he's on his way to that in the third one anyway, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's mixed up with some dodgy people. So I'm thinking mafia. They kidnap Daniel LaRusso.
Right.
They're meant to kidnap Mr. Miyagi as well. They want to kill them.
Yeah.
Right. But Mr. Miyagi's not there when it happens. So the whole film is basically taken. But Mr. Miyagi goes on a one-man spree of taking the mafia apart.
I love this.
Right.
I love it.
And it's not just nonsense. There's so much to it. One, in the first film, the film that got him, Pat Morita, nominated for the Oscar.
That's amazing that it got nominated, by the way.
I only found that out in fairly,
Yeah, me too.
Years.
Yeah.
And it's the scene where he's crying and we discover that his when he was in the army, his wife and she was giving birth and she died. It's quite heavy for a kid's film.
Yeah.
And they very nearly took it out and it had to be fought for that scene to stay in the film. And I actually think that's what gives the film, makes it a step above those other kind of films like it of the time. So he wouldn't have got nominated if it wasn't for that scene. So we know about his backstory with his kids. So Daniel is the closest thing he's had to a son since then. So he's gonna do what it takes to get him back. He doesn't want to experience that same thing of losing a son.
No.
But that gives him some nice motivation there. And also you've got the whole thing that he's a war medal winner. Yeah. I don't know if that's the right word.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So he's in the war. We don't know too much about what he did, but it's definitely in the Second World War. And then I don't know whether he was in Vietnam as well. Probably not. He's too old for that. Anyway, so this is the first time you see him coming up against guns. So you got the trauma from the war that you can play on. And maybe PTSD with it, and there's a lot. If you could go, I think it needs to be darker. It's going to be it's going to film for adults.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's a lot you can use there. So it's not just going to be he's just going to kick everyone's ass. There's more you can go deeper than that.
I really like it.
What year were you going to have this?
Macchio's like 30 at this point, right?
So this should happen not long after.
Part 3, so early 90s.
Yeah. So it's just a natural follow up, but a slight change in tone, I think. So the people that like the first one, they're now 18 plus, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's designed for them.
I do have to ask you about your whole love for Karate Kids. I mean, did that start when you were really young?
Yeah, and I didn't realise it was my favourite film for a long time, but I watched it so much. And it was like, so Best of the Best was my favourite film for ages. But now, when I watch the first one, when the music kicks in, like the score at the beginning, I'm back in where we used to live, in front of that old TV, sitting on the floor, like I'm there. Like it brings so much nostalgia. I love it so much. I remembered what I was going to say. It's still in keeping with Karate Kid. At the beginning, they're training, and he's teaching him like how to disarm using a gun or something.
Oh, okay.
So it's that thing where at the end, you still have that thing in Karate Kid where at the end, Daniel LaRusso will use that move to sort of help save the day.
Yeah.
So it's still going to keep in with the theme of Karate Kid.
Because that's what Miyagi's all about, isn't it? It's like defense rather than attack. But this time he kind of has to attack.
Exactly.
Like,
but it's still sort of defense.
Yeah.
You could argue it's defense, but it's just, what you, because there's so much. I think they're actually going to make a prequel. I think they're going to do the Miyagi story.
Really?
Yeah, they've talked about it. Yeah.
Okay, because
so we're getting this
so
Legends one, aren't we, with Jackie Chan?
So that's an interesting one. That sequel, because I'm really looking forward to that, and the fact that they're combining both films. I actually, before I found out about the film, because obviously you got the Jaden Smith remake or reboot or whatever you want to call it. I thought Jackie Chan might turn up in the end of Cobra Kai to link them, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I've got a theory, and if they don't use this theory of how they connect, how Jackie Chan knew Mr. Miyagi, I'll be really disappointed, because there's a perfect reason for it to all make sense. Because in the first Karate Kid film, Mr. Miyagi tells Daniel the story of how he learned, how his family came to learn karate. And what it is Mr. Miyagi's great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather was fishing, fell asleep, woke up in China, didn't come back for 10 years. And when he came back, he had a family from China. And he also brought back Miyagi-Do karate. So he learnt it in China. So technically it wouldn't have been karate, it could have been kung fu or something linked. So then what I think could happen is, because Jackie Chan teaches in the same way, because he teaches doing practical skills and then using it in karate or kung fu. So that would make sense if they're related, because where he learnt it in China, or just where his great-grandfather learnt it in China.
That does make sense, yeah.
Then the descendants. So that's how, and maybe Mr. Miyagi went back over, and that's how they knew each other or something. But if they don't do that, I'd be really disappointed, because I can't think of any other reason they'd have met.
No.
So, that's my theory.
I mean, that's a really good way of doing it, actually, I think. That really works. Would you bring, like, Martin Cove back as Kreese? Would you have him in there somewhere?
Great question.
This is it. So Silver's definitely in it. And I guess Kreese would be. But I think Silver's the end boss of this one, because it wouldn't make sense for Martin Cove to be to have those links, but because Silver's got all the money and all the dodgy dealings, he could hire them in to get rid of them. But I guess you'd have to have Kreese in it.
He'd have to be in it somewhere, wouldn't he?
But maybe you could have because I think in Cobra Kai we're going to get Kreese. He's going to actually turn out all right. I think he's going to be the good guy. I think he's going to. I think he's going to have a.
That's the whole thing of Cobra Kai, isn't it? Is the bad guy turns out to be the good guy? Kind of thing,
but I don't think Silver will. I think he's just out and out evil.
Okay, I'm going to have to disappoint you now, Mark. Rich is a massive Karate Kid fan. He loves all the Karate Kids. He's
100%
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I was young, never got into Karate Kid. Never did it until I'm older, and I've only started recently. People have been picking them, been watching them, and Rich said, "You got to watch Cobra Kai. You got to watch Cobra Kai." I tried to watch Cobra Kai. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I've seen your look on your face already. And It was just too cheesy for me. It was just too teeny, boppy.
It gets that way after the first series. I think it does start.
I think Karate Kid's got to be something you got to watch when you're young, personally.
I disagree.
I love it. Go on.
But I think I know what's happened.
Okay.
So I think, because I've got nephews and they've just started watching Cobra Kai and they love it.
Okay.
But they watch it because of, like you say, the teeny thing.
Yeah.
So it's standalone without the background of Karate Kid. But I think you have to love Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Because you get enough out of it.
Yeah.
And you don't need to worry about the fact that it's a teeny thing, because there are so many little nods and Easter eggs for you to enjoy that doesn't bother you. But if you've only if you don't have that love for Karate Kid and you don't know those films inside out, I can totally understand that.
Good.
Definitely.
Thank you.
So,
I thought I was going to hurt your feelings a lot.
No, I mean, I think you're an idiot for not watching it when you were a kid. But I can totally understand that. That does
I love
make
it.
sense.
I loved Karate Kid as a kid. I used to do like Kung Fu when I was a kid, and not to your standard, Mark. I never got a black belt. I think I got to like...
What colour did you get?
I think it was green. I can't even remember. It was not that impressive. But I really liked it. It was something I really liked doing. And and I just loved Karate Kid. I've just always loved Karate Kid 2. Probably one of my favourite films.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be in your running,
Absolutely love it. Like, I really do.
Oh, that's good.
I don't think I've ever seen the second one.
This is the point. This is why you're not...
I know. I've
Kai.
watched the first one, and then I watched the third one, and I was this is rubbish.
Oh, mate. What the two of the best things in Cobra Kai is one where he turns up in Okinawa and he sees his love interest from the second one. That's one of the best parts. And then the character development of Chosen, the bad guy in the second one.
100%.
It's so funny and brilliant, and it does make sense. Like So of course you're not.
I'm so sorry.
But then you probably gave up on Cobra Kai way before.
Yes, I did.
He's introduced, I would have thought.
Yeah. And I think if you liked Karate Kid beforehand, there'd be enough in Cobra Kai just from characters turning up for you to go, oh my God, it's Mike.
It's basically, it's what I was going to say about wrestling earlier. One of the best things in wrestling is when you get a comeback where it's someone you're not expecting and you're like, fuck, what?
Yeah. Oh, I know that. Yeah.
And you get that from Cobra Kai, because out of nowhere, you're just seeing these old characters and they don't give it to you all at once. They wait and they time it well.
Yeah, 100%. And Johnny Lawrence is my favourite in Cobra Kai. He really is. Johnny Lawrence is my favourite thing in Cobra Kai. I love his trajectory. Like I really do.
So good.
Like he's peaked in high school, and now he's kind of a bit of a bum. It's perfect.
And he's so 80s, and it's they toe the line so well of like what's it was almost like he'd been in a coma and woken up.
Yeah.
Like, so, it's slightly unrealistic in places, because obviously he knows how to use a phone. He should do by now.
Yeah.
But and even my nephews like him. So that shows that it's not just, it's not just people that have,
But also Daniel's a bit of a dick. Watch it and be like.
But he was in the films. If you watch them, he like in the third one.
I'd want to give him
in the third one. He's awful.
He treats Mr. Miyagi like dirt.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I was cheering on the bad guys in the third film. To be honest, I was like, just punch him in the face, get it done, sweep the leg.
But I don't think he was that happy with the script and stuff.
Okay.
With the third one, I don't think.
Yeah,
that's the one he doesn't like. Like Ralph Macchio says that I think he would redo that one if he could.
Oh, okay.
Because people, but again, it's another one. As a kid, I didn't know it was bad.
No.
Like I loved the fact that they were doing a tournament again, and like, I mean, it's ridiculous the third one where he's suddenly in the final.
You don't have to fight for the champion.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
But the best scene in that is at the end where he's like, "I'm afraid," and he's like, "Stay focus." It's the best. Goosebumps every time I see it. I love it so much.
I think it's just for me, 3 is just that disappointing thing. Like after 2, where I was just so like, where'd you go with the sequels for Karate Kid? You you go to Japan, you take it out of New Jersey and you do it something completely different, and you fight Chosen who could genuinely kill you. That ups the stakes. And then 3 just feels like,
well, 3 feels like you can't do karate very
backwards.
well.
Yeah, he's forgotten everything he learned in Japan.
And it's only I was surprised to find out it's meant to be set a year after the first film, but everyone's much older.
Oh yeah, he looks older, and he's put on weight as well, which
he's like 28, isn't he, at this point?
Well, it's meant to be literally the day after the second film.
Oh, is it really?
Well,
they get picked up from the airport.
Yeah, and you see Martin Cove go to Tahiti or something.
Right.
And then they come out at the same time. So it's meant to be. Between the first and second film, there was like a 6-month jump.
Yeah, because he's a lot better at karate in the second movie than he is in the first movie. So that sort of makes sense that he's had another 6 months of training kind of thing.
Yeah. So Mr. Miyagi is going to go, and he's just going to you're just going to see him do you can see him to his full potential.
Yeah.
Are you up for this whole Karate Kid universe they're trying to build now? I'm guessing you're like feed me more kind of thing.
As long as they do it properly. And I think they care. That's the thing. If you're going to do that, Mr. Miyagi character is so sacred, especially to Ralph Macchio. So I don't think he'll let it be rubbish.
No.
Yes.
And the guys that make it are proper fans. Like you say, they started on YouTube just as like fan stuff. And
and with the last season of Cobra Kai, they're putting in little lots of little references to Mr. Miyagi's background things that we wouldn't know. And I feel like that's what they're doing, is they're sort of building that story.
Because Pat Morita wasn't he didn't know karate. Like he's like not a fighter at all.
He was a stand-up comedian. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No,
that's what he started as. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's really weird because you watch and he's just got an American accent.
It is weird.
Really, really strange. But you've watched Karate Kid so much, and then he was in Happy Days?
Yeah, I think he was
in one of those shows.
Yeah, I think it was Happy Days, wasn't it?
And then Karate Kid was sort of his big,
amazing. Well, I love it that you love it so much, and there's clearly you're a fighter. I would never have put you down watching all your
I don't tell anyone
stand up because you're like best film fighting, dream film fighting.
But I wouldn't say like if a fighting film comes out, I don't really want to watch it.
Okay,
but in those days I did. But I feel like I've done that now.
Yeah.
So that's not. I don't sort of get excited to go and watch an action film like that anymore. Like I will watch them. I watched Roadhouse recently, the new one, and that is really good.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not a sequel, is it? That's just a reboot, isn't it?
Yeah, a remake, I guess, or whatever it is.
But no, I like that. That had that sort of nostalgia feel to it of those kind of films, but was also like realistically modern. Is how they sort of the fighting was, UFC style mixed martial arts.
Those were Mark Simmons' Unequal sequels. What a brilliant choice.
Really?
We got to talk about one of my favourite franchises, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
We got to talk about a lot of fighting.
Yes, we did. We got to talk about a lot of fighting movies. And one really random one.
Which one's the random one to you?
Short Circuit 2.
Okay, once in a while, a guest just picks the most bizarre choices of best sequel, and I was shocked when he picked it.
But it's a good choice. It means a lot to him.
Oh, yeah.
And when I watched it, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed that movie.
It's bad and good at the same point. I might go back, check out Best of the Best one day. But
I really want to, because, Mark's made it sound really good.
Oh, he's so into these movies. He loves this movie. He obsessed with it when he was younger. And, I get it. Taekwondo. He watched this video and then learned the stick work just to pass one of his tests. Great stuff. What did you think of it though? Like, you really enjoyed it?
I had a lot of fun watching it. I went into it thinking, oh, this is going to be pulpy rubbish nonsense, and it sort of is. But it's really fun. It's really fun. I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it
if you can find it. It is available.
If you can find it, yeah. It's not easy to track down.
Yeah. We had to set sail a little bit. And it's got Chris Penn. Chris Penn in it.
yeah.
Eric Roberts is in it. It's mad. It looked a bit like somehow Mortal Kombat-ish, like...
Yeah, it sort of is. Yeah, in a way.
In a way. And the first film is not like that. The first film apparently is like a proper serious film. And then they...
Sports movie,
And then they turn to this one and it goes wild. But I enjoyed it.
Me too.
There are 4 of them now. I think there's 4 of these films, so who knows? One day someone else might pick another one. Good, best, worst, dream.
You never know.
On to the worst.
Well, I've already mentioned it. Short Circuit 2. It's you sounded like Johnny Five when you made that noise then.
It's a bit icky.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? It's not good in lots of ways.
It hasn't aged brilliantly.
No, and also I think it was just a bit rubbish then as well.
Yeah.
It misses your main cast members, doesn't it?
Well, it misses the Gutenberg, yeah.
Yeah, Steve Guttenberg and Ali Sheedy. That's who are missing.
Oh, Alan Sheedy.
Alan. Are you chasing the name to Alan now, have you?
Yeah. Let's keep moving on. And they made the comedy character the main character in the second film. And he's definitely not Indian, which is also hilarious and horrible at this point. I don't know how they got away with that.
Sorry, Alan Sheedy just made me really laugh.
Yeah. Get back on board. I'm trying to skip forward.
Sorry, I'm coming back. Oh dear, I can't. Okay. Sorry.
Anyway, I thought I've seen a lot of Short Circuit 2, and it turns out mostly I've seen Short Circuit 1, and I thought I'd seen the sequel because they're very... I mean, it's got a robot that rolls around a lot.
Yeah, but then there are things from Short Circuit 2, like Johnny Five is alive, that kind of thing. Like, it's not called Johnny Five until Short Circuit 2, really.
I think he gets named right at the end of the first one, apparently, and then he jumps.
So
is that when he jumps in the air?
Maybe.
Freeze frame?
Yeah, I think you could be right there.
Yeah.
And him ending up as a gold robot. I had a memory of that, a strong memory of that. Yeah.
Bad.
Good.
Yeah.
It's not a good sequel. It's really bad. It's very, very bad. I can't think of much good to say about it. Other than
we've watched it.
Its mother was a snowblower. Yeah, that's it.
And
that's all I've got.
And that leads us on to Dream sequel, where which he wanted to carry on after Karate Kid Part 3.
Yes.
Now we're slowly getting through all these Karate Kids.
We are. Yeah.
This one is Karate Kid 3 was much better than the next Karate Kid. Not by much. Yeah. I have to say.
Well, not by much. Karate Kid 3 is the weakest of the 3, but it's a really strong franchise for me. It means a lot to me, growing up and stuff.
And we like
Karate Kid.
Mark loves Karate Kid. He's obsessed with them.
Yeah.
I think if he didn't pick Best of the Best 2, he would have picked Karate Kid 2 as best sequel. I think it would have been close.
He would be right.
And I like what you had planned with the next one. That was fun.
Yes.
A little bit more seriouser.
Yeah. But I like that. I like taking it in a sort of more serious direction.
I mean, it would have been better than the girl with the falcon or the eagle on top of the school.
Yeah.
And Mad Michael
The
Ironside.
Karate Kid 4 that doesn't have any karate in it. Until right at the end.
Yeah. And obviously in Karate Kid 3, it's quite funny how much he's aged. He's now a 28-year-old man playing a 17, 18-year-old boy?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, 18-year-old. Yeah, I think.
And all the bad guys.
Yeah. And I think, even in the original Karate Kid, I watched it with my wife just recently, and she was really surprised that Daniel, Ralph Macchio, is 8 years older than Johnny Lawrence in that movie. Billy Zabka's 8 years younger, and it doesn't look it at all.
He's aged well. He kind of still looks the same now, to be honest. And he's in his 60s now, maybe?
Yeah, it must be close.
Yeah.
Must be close.
Good for him.
But yeah, good. Excellent. Really good choices. Mark, you're a superstar. If you want to hear a bit more of Mark, then he's got a tour this year. Mark Simmons and Friends, Jest to Impress. He's also off to Australia and New Zealand as well as the UK. Mm-hmm. So make sure you check out some of those dates. He's all over the country in 2025 and 2026. So there'll be loads of places that you can find him. Also check out his podcast called Jokes. where him and his co-host take jokes from other comedians that didn't work and try and make them better. I think it's a brilliant podcast.
It is a good podcast.
So
it's
get
fun.
into that. Yeah, basically just find Mark wherever you can because he's incredibly funny and a really nice person.
Yeah, go check out his special on YouTube.
Yeah,
Quip Off the Mark, which is
a full comedy special on YouTube.
It's so good, by the way. It's really, really funny. Really
there
funny.
are so many awesome comedy specials for free on YouTube. Definitely go and watch Mark's.
Thank you.
It's brilliant.
Mark is a big film fan. We loved having him on. So thank you, Mark, for coming on the podcast and telling us your best, worst, and dream sequel. You're welcome back anytime. I think when we do Karate Kid Legends, we should see if Mark has feelings about it.
Yeah.
Get back on it because that would be fun.
Definitely.
He might be in
100%.
Australia though, so he might not be available.
Wow, we'll try.
Because he's always touring. The man works hard. Go check him out if you're near him. Anyway, go on, Rich.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically it for this episode, other than to say, if you want to let us know what you thought of Mark's picks and tell us how great you think his ideas for Karate Kid 4 are, then get on the old social medias. We're on all of them apart from the bad one. You know which one that is, right? You know, if you don't know which one the bad one is, then you just go and find out. So yeah, we're all of those. Just type Unequal Sequel in, you'll find us, or send us an email, unequalsequel@hotmail.com. Get in touch. Whilst you're there, if you really like the podcast, if you want to hear a bit more of Mark in our sequel sessions, then go on to anotherslice.com/unequal sequel, where for just $2.99 a month, you can join our subscription service and you'll get extra bits, sequel sessions for all of our interview episodes, which have been incredibly good this season. So make sure you go over and listen to those. If you wouldn't mind, also hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already. It really helps other people find the podcast, and it also means that we'll drop into your pod player choice every single week, so you won't miss an episode. Doesn't cost you anything, absolutely free. Just do it, and it really helps everyone else out. And another thing that's free that you can do for us, because, you know, we put all this content together for you. We put all of our efforts into making this thing for you. You could just do a little thing for us and go onto your pod player of choice, give us a 5-star review. The more 5-star reviews we get, the more likely it is that we can become Rotten Tomatoes certified critics, and achieve a life goal.
That's very important.
It is very important. But also, more importantly, the more reviews we get, the higher up the charts we go, the more people find the podcast. And the more people can enjoy the things that you enjoy too.
Yeah, algorithms and stuff like that. Apparently it's a thing, and I hate it. I really hate it. Yeah, go listen to the sequel sessions chat. We talk about comedy with Mark. We talk about how he won Best Joke at last year's Edinburgh Fringe Festival. That's a good little chat. Thank you all for listening. Keep sending all your comments in to us. We love hearing them and reading them out on our end of month roundups. I've got nothing else to say, so it's a goodbye from me, bye-bye, and it's a goodbye from him.
Bye!
See you on the next one, sequel to this one. Have a great week, bye-bye.
Whew, Series 8, Episode 2, buddy.
We are flowing.
Wowzers. You do realise we are bearing down on our 100th episode.
It's coming now, right? So
it's not far away.
Have you started
now.
making notes?
Yeah, I've done my choices.
Oh my God, okay.
I'm done. I'm in. I'm all in. I know what I'm picking.
I still don't. I've still got to do some research and rewatch some sequels just to make sure how I feel, because there's a lot of good films and bad films and dream films out there for me. So I don't want to rush this decision. What we got? Another 10 episodes, 12 episodes until I have to do that.
Something like that. Yeah, 14, I think.
Fun.
12. Yeah.
Something to look forward to for everyone.